Hi, everyone. My name is Teresa Dietrich, and I'm the Chief Product and Technology Officer at Stack Overflow. I manage a team here that spans nearly every time zone across the Americas and Europe. And then we were already 80% remote before the pandemic hit, and now, of course, we're working 100% remote. I have over 20 years in the tech industry. I started at AOL back in the 90s and have worked at WebMD, namely, and at most recently at McKinsey New Ventures before joining Stack Overflow in engineering and technology leadership roles. And outside of tech, my biggest passions are travel and reading, which of course means this year it's been a lot more reading than travel, but looking forward to get back to it sometime in the not too distant future. So what are we talking about today? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about the true cost of distractions in the workplace and ways you can improve collaboration and productivity while being aware and cautious of the impacts of interruptions. So at the end of this talk, you'll know the impact of distractions such as emails, chat pings, and impromptu meetings, recommendations for reducing those distractions and driving productivity, and 3 ways to improve company or team-wide collaboration that individual contributors and managers can implement. Let's talk about the underlying problems of distractions. Technology that keeps us connected has been around for over 20 years now, and it's growing more mature every day. And as any industry matures, it solves the easy problems and creates efficient industry standard solutions that improve productivity for everyone. That leaves the hard problems to solve, the breakthroughs and innovations that forge the next big opportunities for us all. Growing in a maturing space means tackling the hard problems that no one's been able to solve yet. And solving hard problems needs sustained focus and attention from your technologists. The space and freedom to focus is your company's most valuable resource. Your focus is being stolen every single day. Your technology experts and other knowledge workers need uninterrupted time and focus to enter flow states, which is the mindset in which they can bring their full suite of skills and experience to bear on the issue at hand. As described in the book, Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, being in this flow zone allows one to fully become engaged and focused on the task at hand. It leads to better results and to greater happiness, but it can only happen when you have the opportunity to focus on whatever it is that lies before you. 47. 47 is the number of times the average person is likely to check her or his smartphone today during Deloitte's Global Mobile Consumer Survey. What about you? I know I check my phone more than 47 times, and I can't even imagine once you count into how often I'm looking at notifications on my desktop during the workday. And just like our phone, chat, and messaging platforms at work are taking away employee time that's really valuable and distracting them. One reason for this is due to a biological incentive. Great, so it's working against us. There's a dopamine reward cycle from constantly checking for messages and responding to every notification, a feeling of achieving something, getting something done when we're all sitting here with way too many things to do. It lets us feel some sense of satisfaction or accomplishment. 6 hours. 6 hours is possibly how much lost time you have in a day from distractions. So how do we get there, right? Another common disruption for those in the office is a simple tap on the shoulder, although not so much right now. For technologists, they're thinking of a whole lot of things at once, solving problems that requires a deep understanding of a mental model of a whole system and the current situation they're dealing with. And they're trying to remember and think about all these things at one time. And a simple tap or a simple ding, a Slack notification, can be disastrous in terms of how much time they have to go back or how far back into the process they have to go. These pings, dings, shoulder taps have a measured impact on your productivity. Research from the University of California and Humboldt University found that workers can lose up to 23 minutes on a task every time they're interrupted. Researchers at UC Irvine observed office workers in their natural habitat. That sounds a little interesting, right? Natural habitat. And found that on average, they switched tasks or were interrupted about every 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes. Wow, that's context switching at its peak. And on top of that, it could take another 20 minutes to get back to where they were. And that's how those interruptions could end up costing an individual up to 6 hours every single day. That's more than half the workday, folks. No wonder we're all working so many hours. Okay. So maybe you've seen this before, maybe you haven't. It just sort of goes into the complex problem solving that engineers and other folks do, and how far deep they'll be into a problem. And when they get distracted, they often have to go quite far back into that sort of analysis and deep thinking process. And I think we've all been there. Some of us are smart enough and maybe learned over time to when someone comes to interrupt, to just say, stop, wait, before I lose my train of thought. But a lot of times that isn't actually how it works. Our brain's already switched and moved over to this. You and your employees feel this. All these interruptions can lead to greater stress and anxiety. Depending on the task, productivity may not suffer, but the interruptions may cause us to work faster, which leads to greater time pressure, frustration, and stress. It takes more effort to complete the same amount of work with interruptions in the mix. Okay, so what you understand